What's happening, guys? What is happening? How is everybody doing today? Woo! Beautiful Wednesday. All right, we got Facebook, we got YouTube going. It's going to be an awesome live, guys. For those of you that don't know who I am, I'm Joe Von Grichton. I live here in beautiful Southern California, actually in wine country. So I'm about 70 miles north of San Diego, about 90 miles east of LAX. So if you've never been here, you definitely want to check it out. Great place to raise a family, great place to visit. We have over 70 wineries, I believe, now and counting. The wine is really good. We have a vibrant downtown, which is really, really cool. Kind of combines the old style, saloon style downtown. It's been modernized and everything. It's really cool. It's a great area here in Temecula, California. So, real excited to be doing this live today. I haven't done one for a few days, and I apologize for that. We've had a lot going on. For those of you that don't know or don't know me, then allow me to give you the short story, the short version, which is our youngest, our 13, soon to be 14-year-old, had some emergency surgery back in January. And last week, she ended up back in the hospital with some complications, or we thought maybe some complications. The surgeons thought maybe some complications. Anyways, really an up and down 7 days, to be honest. And the beauty is that I knew the stuff that I'm going to show you today, all of that was running for me. My business was set up. It's all automated. The only thing I wasn't doing as much of is I wasn't doing a lot of content and attraction marketing, which I'll get into, but it doesn't matter. I have a lot of content out there already. Leads were still coming in. Transactions were still happening. I didn't have to worry about anything other than being present for my daughter and for my wife, for our family. And so I'm grateful for that. So for those of you that are thinking about starting an online business, if you're like I was, where I actually have owned my own business for years, but all I did was create a job for myself because, over the years, I just was happy to be working for myself. I still had control of my schedule. But the one thing that I didn't do a good job of, even though I did it for clients, was I didn't replace myself. I didn't automate like I have now. And so I worked a lot. And when I wasn't working and I was with my family, I found myself a lot of times, wanting to look at my phone, wanting to check my emails, wanting to check social media, to make sure I wasn't missing anything. So even though I was with my family, with my kids, I wasn't necessarily always present because I was constantly thinking about business, right? That's one of the challenges of being a business owner. It's one of the fears a lot of people have about starting it. But if you build it the right way, and I'm going to show you today, the anatomy of it, the 30,000 foot overview, guys, I'd have to spend days, going over the details, but I can give you the broad picture and give you some tips and tricks, and then give you a solution that can, take care of it all for you. But for me, automating my business, allowing my business to work around my lifestyle rather than my lifestyle to be built around my business, has been huge. And I'm on this journey to retire my wife, get her back home, so that she can be working on things she wants to be working on, not things she has to be working on. And at the same time, I'd like to help 1,000 families do the same thing, either start supplementing their income to give them some more time freedom, or to potentially replace their incomes so that they have complete control and of their time. It's as a parent, there's nothing worse than having to go to work and know that you're not really excited to do it, but it pays the bills, and maybe then some if you're lucky. A lot of people, it doesn't pay the bills. A lot of people have a second hustle, a second job, and that to me is really hard. But for those of you that are watching or coming on right now, I'd love to know where you're coming in from, where you're watching this from, and tell me a little bit about the area that you're from. So like how I did earlier, I'm from Temecula, or I'm here in Temecula, I should say. I'm actually born in Riverside, up the road, about 40 minutes up the road north of here. And tell me something about where you're at, because like I said, we're here in Temecula in wine country, great place to visit. But I'd love to know something about where you're at and where you're watching this from. So let's see. All right, we got somebody hopping on here on YouTube. I'd love to know where you're from, chiming in from, and tell me a little bit about where you're at. I always want to learn, new things about new places, so I can put it on my bucket list, or I can mark it off my bucket list. Which one you recommend? But today I want to talk about the anatomy of a six-figure online business. And what do I mean by that? There's some core ingredients, and for years I built funnels for clients. I set up all the automations and everything. But as far as like the copywriting and everything, I was involved in the process, but I didn't necessarily create the process. It was always a done with you kind of activity, or we'd actually hire a copywriter, professional copywriter, write everything. So I never had to really worry about copy too much. I was just plugging and punching and building out the funnels and all the automations, and doing some other stuff to help them do email list building. And then I gave them some criteria or some strategies that they could go out and use to market on social media organically. All right. And gave them some tips and tricks and strategies, and then kind of coached them through that. And then they could do paid advertising if they wanted. I don't recommend doing paid advertising, really, because you're going to spend a lot of money. And if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to lose a lot of money real fast. And you may never ever figure out why. So unless you know what you're doing, I recommend no paid advertising. Build it organically. You'll thank me in the long run. It takes a little bit longer, but you'll have a loyal following that will follow you. They're like your loyal soldiers. They'll go to battle for you if you build it right. So, but I want to talk first and foremost about a sales funnel. All right. Now, so for some of you, excuse me, I'm just checking back and forth, make sure I'm not missing anybody. For some of you, you may be saying, well, Joe, what's a sales funnel? I don't know what that is. Well, have you ever put your email into something in order to maybe get a coupon or to get access to something? Yes or yes. Probably most of you watching this, if you're watching this, you've done that at one time or another, right? Well, what happens is, I'm going to put this board here in front, is you have the opt-in. All right, that's the email opt-in. Okay. Now, that's all I have to focus on in my business. Everything else is already set up. It's automated. I don't have to touch it. But once you set this up where people come in and put their email in, and then they go to a thank you page. But at the same time, what's triggered is email touches. All right. So over here on this other side, you can see here, you can set up email sequences where they automatically send out emails. You can say every 6 hours, every 12 hours, every 24 hours. You can set up the time you want them to go out, all that stuff. And you can make that sequence as long as you want. All right. Now, one of the things that's important to remember is that, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get that ring so it's not glaring on you, is over here is that you have to have 7 to 10 engagements roughly. On average, the buying psychology of a customer is they're going to need 7 to 10 touches. Well, in pre-internet, pre-digital marketing, pre-social media, basically pre-technology that we know today, it was nose to nose, toes to toes, right? Meaning, a salesperson was meeting you, they're having a conversation with you, finding out what you want, and giving you a product that is a solution for you. And then they became a yes or a no, right? And there was different stages of that conversation. Well, now we call them 7 to 10 touches, or we used to call them 7 to 10 touches, because depending on how much the product cost or service cost, they might need a longer time to make a buying decision, right? So on average, it's about 7 to 10. I say engagements. So if you look here and you set up this system, right? There's going to be people that are going to opt in right away. They're going to go to your thank you, and then they're going to go to your sales page and they're going to buy. All right. There's going to be people that do that. It's going to be somewhere between, 20 and 30% of your customers, not 20 to 30% of the people that come, the emails that come in, but 20 to 30% of your potential customer base are people that say yes. They're going to buy, almost right away. Okay. Maybe a little less. Right. Then you're going to have 20 to 30%, somewhere in there, that are going to say, I needed to get to email too. Now I'm ready to make a buying decision. Okay. All right. And then you're going to have the other ones that are way down here at the bottom, off the chart here, that are going to have multiple email touches. They're very analytical. They need all the details before they can make a buying decision. Right. And that's all right if that's you. All right. So that's the other roughly third of the buyers that you'll get as customers. Okay. So understanding that process, you obviously couldn't be in all these places all at one time, right? And serving all of those different people. So you set up a sales funnel where it's all automated. So they opt in with their email, they go to a thank you page, right? And then from the thank you page, they go to the sales page. And that's where they get all the detailed information and, check out and buy the product or service. Okay. Now, along the way, like I said, the email over here will follow up and be automated as well. So whether you're sleeping or like I was last week where I was at the hospital with our daughter, right? I didn't have to worry about my business running because I knew this was all in place. Okay. And I knew I had a lot of content out there that was bringing people to the system. Okay. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, gosh, Joe, how do I set that up? Well, we use a system. It's called System.io, actually, System.io. Right. I used to use ClickFunnels. I love ClickFunnels. You can use that as well. I just don't recommend it if you're new getting started because they don't have a free offering. System.io does. And then even when you do go to their paid version, it's not as much as what ClickFunnels is. And it has a lot of the same functionality, if not more. Okay. So I really like System.io. I like ClickFunnels though as well. Okay. So you can build all this out. You build it out one time, good to go. Now, for some of you may go, oh my goodness, Joe, I have not a tech bone in my body. I barely do any social media. The internet is strictly for email, my emailing my coworkers, my boss, maybe following up with customers. That's it. That's about all the tech that I do. Okay. That's fine. Right. Because you can go out and learn this, or you can find somebody that has a proven system. Who has a proven system? I do. Right. Proven system. Literally one click, maybe more than one click, but it's one click. This is all installed. And then you just connect your domain, your email, and your payment processor. So however you want to receive payments, either through PayPal or Stripe or whatever the case may be, you can receive your payments that way. Okay. That's all you really have to do for this setup because everything else is done. The emails are written, the sales pages are written, even your products. We have products that you can resell. So while you're learning this process, how to use it, you have products to start selling and you're learning about this. So when you're ready to start your own company, and then you've got the concept in mind, you've got the skill set, right? You've learned it. It's been a learned skill. Okay. But the cool thing is you don't have to be techie. One click, literally, you hit a button, it imports. It's all done for you. All you have to do is connect your GoDaddy domain, your email, and your payment processor. And all the training, watch you step by step, over the shoulder training, showing you exactly what it's going to look like on the screen. And then you just go and do it. You open up the training screen, have another screen if you got dual screens, If not, you just pause, go do it, pause, go do it. It's easy. In 48 hours or less, you can have your business up and running with all of this in play. So what's next? What's next? Well, like I said, you want to build a big list, right? You want to build a big list. Excuse me here while I do this. Because what happens when you have a big email list? Now you have a list of potential customers. So maybe, for example, for me, home-based-blueprint.com, this is where you can get all the information, right? Go ahead and take a screenshot of that. You can opt in, you put your email in, right? It'll take you to a thank you page, okay? And if you're ready to buy, then you can go to the sales page, or the emails are going to follow up for you, right? This was all set up for me. I didn't have to build any of it. Even though I know how to build it all, I didn't have to build it. I didn't have to take the time to write the copy. I didn't have to take the time to find products. The products are already done. They're already done. You can resell them. You have what's called master resale rights to them. Pretty darn cool. But what happens when maybe somebody doesn't want to buy what you have to offer, but they often opt in because they see value in what you're talking about? Okay. Happens a lot, more often than you would think, right? Okay. Now, it doesn't mean that they don't like your product or service. It just means that it's not something for them. But the cool thing is they're a part of your email list until they unsubscribe. So now, as you're list building, you can actually go out and invite them to other product offerings or service offerings. As you build a new business, you've got a new email list now, right? You can send out to that email list and say, hey, check this out, right? Obviously, we would do something a little bit better than that, but that's the gist of how powerful an email list is. Because there are people out there right now that have huge email lists that they've built using the same model. They've had some sales, right? If not a lot, they've had some, right? But they've got that email list right here. And that email list, now they can start doing affiliate offers, which is basically you're marketing products that are already done by other people, and you get a commission back for sharing it with your email list, right? Your email list. Or you can create your own products. It's up to you. It's really cool. But once you've done that and you've built it, say over the next 5 years, you build a list of 5,000 people, right? What if you knew that every time you send out an email, each of those emails was worth $1, right? So how many emails are you going to be sending out a month, right? Because on average, it's going to be more than that probably, okay? And at the same time, you still have this business set up as well. So cool, right? So that's why email lists are list building, our email list building is so powerful. As a lot of people think, oh gosh, they didn't buy my product or service right now. But it might not be because they didn't like you and they didn't like your product or service. They just didn't need it. But they like you. They know you have value to offer to them. That's why they're in your email list. Now you can follow up with them with other offers, right? You can also send emails out to them asking them, what do they need help with? What were they looking to find when they originally opted in to the email list, right? And then you can create products and solutions around what the feedback is. Pretty cool, right? Now, you're probably saying, Joe, how do you know all this stuff? Well, for one, I've been doing it a long time. But two, right here, this company that I'm partnered with is called Legacy Builders, right? Now, our digital growth community is really what I think the big company is. But Legacy Builders is the big product that I sell. And the cool thing about it is all the training is all in there for you. They train you. They give you the prompts. They give you the techniques, the skill sets. They tell you literally one day at a time what you should be doing. When you first start in the business, when you're, after you're, 7 days in, what's next? 30-day growth plan, 90-day growth plans. They have all that stuff. There's constant mentoring training calls. It's fantastic, right? And if you just learn a little bit every day, Would you agree that a little bit of growth every day is a good thing, especially if it's adding value to your business and to your email list? Pretty powerful, right? So once this is set up one time, all you have to do is do the attraction marketing. So what do I mean by that? We've got Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all right, TikTok, okay. You can even use X if you want it. X or Twitter. You can use any social media platform you want, right? You can even use free classifieds or free ads. Okay. So all I have to do on a daily basis is create content that goes out to these platforms. You don't have to do all of them. In fact, I recommend when you're starting out, you should only use one until you've perfected your message, until you know exactly who your audience is, what their pains are, and how you can help them. Then you can move on to a secondary platform, right? Okay. And then you can also use free ads. Real simple, right? And you're probably saying, Joe, I don't even use social media that much. I use Facebook. I have a Facebook account. I talk to my cousins every once in a while, some old friends from high school. Yeah, I get it, right? There's over 50,000 people around the world that are using this proven model, following the training on each of these platforms to generate traffic back to this, right? So that people will ultimately opt in with their email address, right? And they either become a customer now or they become a customer later. Okay. That is the goal. That is the goal. So how do we make this work? Well, I use ChatGPT, right? And you're probably saying, oh gosh, there's another thing I don't know. Cool. Got all the training there for you. Real easy to learn. You learn how to use ChatGPT to give you content ideas to put out there, right? But I'm going to give you a little secret. The biggest secret here is to become a storyteller. Sorry that my handwriting is not so great, but become an amazing storyteller. Allow your audience to come into your world, to have a conversation with you instead of selling, right? Instead of talking about features and stuff. I've shared features with you today, but not before I've shared stories with you about my life and how this has changed my life, right? How it's helped my family and continuing to help other families, because now I'm sharing it because I want to help other families, not just mine, because we should all help each other out, right? Contribution is huge. I believe without contribution, and I mean, I'm not just talking about giving money, right? Your time, your expertise, all right? That value exchange is priceless when done unconditionally, okay? And the cool thing is that, like I said, I can just do all of that by becoming a great storyteller. This is where I sucked, guys. You said, well, gosh, Joe, I'm not on social media. I don't want to get in front of a camera. Yeah, okay. There was a point in time where I used to get so darn nervous before I get up and talk in front of audiences, because I started back when there was very little online. So I did more talking traditionally from a stage or in front of a classroom. And I would get so nervous up there, right? And then once the nerves got shaken out after the first, couple minutes, then I was able to, engage people, help them, right? And by helping them and adding value to their experience, they basically enrolled. By the time I asked them questions about what they wanted, the light clicked on and said, hey, I need this. Not only do I want this, but I need it, right? All because I became, or I've, worked on being a good storyteller. But I used to sell from a feature standpoint, right? A feature standpoint more than I do now. Now I really focus on becoming a storyteller. And that's the secret key ingredient to be, to use attraction marketing and social media, or whatever platform you're using. People don't want to be sold. They want to be enrolled. What do I mean by that? It's exactly what I just said. Let me tell you a story first before I go into this a little deeper. So, years ago, my wife and I were just starting our family about 20 years ago, almost 20 years ago. And we were looking to buy a Suburban or a Tahoe, a bigger SUV. And so we went to the car dealership and we walked onto this car dealership. And I think it was one of the first ones we went to. And, of course, this poor young guy gets sent out. It's his time in the rotation to come out, his at bat to come and see if he can take a swing and sell us a car. And boy, did he come out swinging. He came down and I think he barely he got my name. I don't even think he got my wife's name before he started telling us about this special that they had. And he wanted to let us know about this special because they were willing. It was like, the purple monster mobile that nobody wanted to buy that had been sitting on the lot forever. And the managers were, spiffing them or giving them an extra bonus if whoever could sell it. It was one of those deals. And it happened to be, it was a Suburban, but it was the ugliest Suburban that anybody, I don't care how good the deal was, it wasn't good enough. And I just remember laughing. And so my wife and I did too. We ended up just turning around and walking away. And why was that? Is because he didn't even know what we wanted. He just got to learn my name. He didn't even know my wife's name, I don't think, at the time. He had no clue what we were looking for. He had no clue that we were starting a family. He had no clue what our budget was or any of that stuff. He just started throwing stuff out there and seeing what stuck against the wall, right? He was taking swings, big swings. Okay. And I applaud him for doing that because, that's pretty nerve wracking if you're new to sales. That's probably how most people would do it. But a good salesperson will become a storyteller. They'll engage you. They'll share with you, right? Let you know that they understand where you're at, what you're looking for, what pain you may be going through, and how they can potentially help you. And they'll take all that in and listen intently, being fully present, and then offer a solution. And maybe they'll share a story about, somebody that they know, or maybe a previous buyer even. You can do that as well. It doesn't always have to be your story. It could be somebody else's story that you share in third person, right? It's just that people buy from people they know, like, and trust. Okay. That's why it takes the 7 to 10 touches or engagements to get people to make a buying decision, right? Because what are they doing during that time? They're beginning to know, like, and trust you. How can they know, like, and trust you if you don't even know their names? I'm not going to trust you, right? You don't shake my hand. You don't look me in the eye. You're talking down here, whatever the case may be. I'm going to spend time with you, right? The product or service is as important to me as I'm sorry, your engagement with me is as important to me as the product or service. Excuse me, I was saying that backwards. Carriage before the horse. Sorry about that. But you understand. Hopefully, you understand what I'm saying. Is that I will buy from somebody the same product or service. I might choose to buy it from somebody else because I like them more. I trust them more, right? And it may be the same product, same price, same terms, all that good stuff. I'd rather buy from them. I trust them, right? I have a rapport with them. I have a relationship with them. Okay. That's what you're doing here on autopilot. And that's what you're doing here. You're building relationships. People are getting to know you, like you, and trust you enough that they'll come over here. All right. And they'll give you their email address. Right. And it's up to us then to see what's converting and then engage them. The ones that aren't becoming customers right away, engage them, send out emails to them, asking them, what were they looking for and how can you help them? Right. That can be on top of your current emails that you already have set up to go out. Okay. Because then they feel like you're actually listening to them. Right. You're vested in finding a solution that fits what they were looking for. That's important. That's how you build a six-figure business. Now, I'm going to erase all the social media stuff. So hopefully you guys took a snapshot of that on the video there. But my goal that I'm working towards is $900 a day. But right now, my goal between now and December is just to generate $300 a day. Okay. So times 365 is $109,000. I'm sorry, $109,500 for a year. So there you go. So I'm looking to do $300 a day in sales or more, 365 days. There's my six-figure business. Now, do you even have a product right now that you can sell for $300? Because if you don't, the cool thing is, not only at homebasedblueprint.com will you find that, you'll find 4 products that you can sell. There are 900, 600, 300, and 100. Okay. Those are the 3 options, right? I'm not going to go into details on each of those options, but it meets everybody where they're at. And on top of it, you can make payments on all 4. So if money is an issue, you can set up a payment plan, right? For any one of those program offers. Okay. The cool thing is once you buy one of those, you have the master resale rights. You can then turn around and sell them yourself, and you get to keep 100% of the profit. This is not a network marketing opportunity or MLM. This is actually you own a business. You have a digital product that you have master resale rights to, which gives you the authority to not only sell it, but the people that buy it from you, they can also sell it as well. It's called master resale rights. And they get to keep, if they sell a $900 client, they keep $900, $600, $300, $100. Pretty cool, huh? Right? Now, in addition, you choose which program you want. If you buy the 900, you get all 4 of those offers. If you buy the 100, you only have the master resale rights to the $100 product. Okay. But there's also a one-time $39 fee. So you may be saying, well, Joe, what's that for? All right. Well, that $39, basically these give you access to all the training, all the support, all the mentorship, everything that you need to build a 6-figure business, to build this. Okay. Now, the $39, what that pays for is all of this being done for you. They basically give you the sales funnels, the email marketing, all the automation. It's all done for you. And that's, they take $39 one time for that. Okay. And then you have it. One click, hook up your domain, hook up your email, set up your payment processor, whether it's PayPal or Stripe or whatever payment processor is that you choose to use. Basically, and if you don't know which ones to choose, don't worry. The training is in there. It will walk you through setting that up. It's very, very easy. Okay. And you're all set. So If you buy the $900 product, you'll pay the one-time $39. If you buy, and you'll have access to resell all of those. If you buy the $100 product, you have a one-time $39 fee. All right. So that way you get the emails and you get the sales funnel and all that stuff, and you can resell the $100 product over and over again. Okay. Sometimes that's where people start, right? Once they get their feet wet, then they can upgrade. We have a 30-day policy that you can upgrade, all right, for whatever the difference is. But if you don't upgrade within 30 days, then you got to pay the full price when you do upgrade. So just incentivizing you, because urgency, life rewards urgency. So I'm going to tell you a quick story of what I mean by that. I've had the privilege to coach for a seminar company multiple times. Been a little group coach, if you will, to help out the facilitators. If you've been to any type of seminar where they have like breakout groups and everything, I've been the leader or the coach of those little breakout groups many times for a personal growth company, if you will, or experiential company. A place where you go to just, if you want to learn more about yourself and how to become a better person, this company will help you do that. And so they have this exercise that they would do, and I got to participate in it both personally, and I've watched it many times over and over again, where there's anywhere from 30, 40 people on one side of a room to I've seen as many as like 150 to 200 people on one side of a room. And then the facilitator goes, okay, here's the rules. You have to cross the floor. You can do it however you want. You can walk, you can moonwalk, you can break dance, you can do whatever you want. The only rule is you can't do what's already been done. So what did we learn there? Whoever goes first, they can do whatever they want because nobody's gone before them, right? So life rewards urgency, okay? Because all the people that wait until the end because they were shy and, all their insecurities were coming out during this exercise, they wait until the very end. They thought that there's no way they can get across the room because everybody's already done it. Well, again, what was the lesson? Life rewards urgency. People who take action right now, right? Even if you're not sure exactly what that looks like or how it's going to feel or what the results are going to be, by taking action, you're going to be better off than if you wait to take action. Because if you wait to take action, there might be other things. So for example, in this, if you bought the $100 and you wanted to upgrade all the way to the $900 upgrade, but it was after the 30-day period, now you got to pay the full $900 instead of just $800, right? So it's really, really important that you understand taking action, being urgent, right? Don't wait, okay? Put your fears aside and take action. Because if you were like me and you were in corporate America, yeah, corporate America was good to me. I learned a lot there. I met a lot of great people. But it was a win-lose proposition for me, and I figured that out really early. What do I mean? Is that the company is always going to win, but if anybody's going to lose, it's always going to be me. Like if they need to downsize and lay people off, or maybe they decide to change the commission structure of my sales commission because I'm making too much money, right? I learned that real early. Now, for some of you, you may be in that position right now where you make a great living, but what are you sacrificing to make that living? Time with your spouse, time with your kids, time with your family, let alone your community. Heck, time for you. Time for you. People forget that. Without self-love, without taking care of ourselves first, how the heck are we going to be able to add any value into anybody else's life? Whether love, expertise, whatever. Excuse me, it's never going to happen. Right? So, you've got to figure out what your time is worth to you. for me, I wasn't willing to keep building a company and somebody else's dreams and keep putting mine on the back burners. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying go quit your job if you have a great job right now. I'm saying start this. Start this. Because I guarantee you right now, if you're my age, I'm about ready to turn 50 here in May. And I can tell you this, even right now, I still don't have my retirement built out. I don't plan on ever uh, quitting, working on new projects or new income producing opportunities. I plan on doing that my entire life because I pick now the things that I love to do, that I want to be doing. Right. And so I would recommend that you look into that as well. Right. Because if you want to get to retirement a little bit faster or get back to where you have complete time freedom, right? Because the money is just a tool if you think about it, right? The money is not going to bring you happiness. What brings you happiness is the freedom to do what you want, when you want, with whom you want, right? So whether you're replacing a six-figure income, right? Let's say that instead of $300, 365 days a year, maybe it takes you to get to 365 sales. Maybe it takes you 2 years to do that. So maybe you make $50,000 a year. Or heck, maybe you only make $25,000, $30,000 a year in the first year, 2 years, while you're still working, your job. Okay. The cool thing is that this all done for you, so you don't have to learn it. Right? It's all done. It's completely done for you. All you have to learn is the social media side, the attraction marketing side, getting people to put their emails in. Okay. And then from there, sky's the limit. But our system has a proven 2-hour workday system for that. So for those of you that are on a tight schedule, don't have a lot of time, great. I'm currently working on perfecting the 2-hour workday, right? Do I spend more than 2 hours a day? Heck yeah, because I want to build it faster. But you don't have to, right? And if you're dedicated and focused for those 2 hours that you have a day, you're going to build it faster than if you only have a half hour a day. Okay. All right. So for some of you, you may have Saturdays and Sundays off like most traditional people do. If you have Saturdays and Sundays off, maybe Saturdays and Sundays, you're creating all your content to go out to all those social media platforms that you're going to market to, the free classifieds that you're going to post at. You're going to have all that content ready to go. So all you have to do is schedule it to go out, or, you'll go in and post it. That'll be like what you do a half an hour every day. You can do that. It's real easy. And the cool thing is, all the training walks you through exactly how to do this, how to create your content, how to set up a TikTok account, how to set up a YouTube account, how to optimize it, how to optimize your storytelling skill set. All of that stuff. It's all right there. Homebasedblueprint.com. I apologize. It's also, there's a link in the bio. You can check that out. But with that, guys, that's the simplicity. And you can go out and build this on your own, or you can follow a proven blueprint. Because if you're already giving all your time to your job and you already don't have a lot of extra time, why would you go spend the extra time you do have to learn something you don't need to when it's already done for you? Already done for you. All you have to do is focus on the content that you put out there to get people to the system. Right? And as I like to say, you just work on getting a little gooder and gooder every day, right? 1% every day. Do you know that if you read 10 pages of a book for the next year, right? Every day, 10 pages of a book, that'd be 3,600 pages. That'd be roughly, depending on the book, it's somewhere between 10 and 15 books a year. Do you know that the average person in America reads less than one book a year? So in a year, how far are you going to be ahead if you do something like that? Just think of this. If you're going and spending 10 minutes a day growing your skill set on how to become a better storyteller, how to use, a new social media platform, how to use a new attraction marketing skill set to get people to come here. What if you had to do it for the next 5 years to get to that? For most people, that would replace their income. For most people, that would replace their income. But the cool thing is, that's just saying 300. What if you start selling $900 a day times 365? That's $328,000 a year. That's life-changing money. That's when you start building some generational wealth, especially if you're reinvesting those profits into other things that make you money passively. And those are things that we have training for to help you, right? So with that, if you have any questions, please let me know. You can write it in the comments. You can simply go and put your email in, get all the information you need. You can email me. My email is on my profile, right? You can send me a message if you're on Facebook, whatever the case may be. I'll meet you where you're at, all right? I don't do Telegram or WhatsApp. I usually do like through, comments or email, okay? But if you have questions, I want to make sure I get them answered for you. But the one thing I ask in return is that you tell me where you're from and a little bit about where you're from, like something that I need to know. Like, for example, I live here in Temecula, California, in wine country. We've got over 70 wineries, and I'd love for you to come out and visit someday because it's an awesome place to come visit. We actually have a annual balloon and wine festival. It's every May. I would highly recommend you check that out. Yours doesn't have to be that inviting. You can say something else. I just want to learn a little something about you, right? So I can say, oh, I want to put that on my bucket list. I want to go visit, right? And if I can help you along the way, build something like that, some wealth like that to give you back your time freedom with a simple system that you don't even have to have any technical expertise to build and put in place, no brainer, right? No brainer. So with that, guys, thank you. I'm at about 47 minutes today. So for those of you that have watched this, great. If you found value in this, I would greatly appreciate if you would like, comment, and subscribe, right? That way you get notified anytime I have any new content, any new lives coming out. That would be great. Hopefully here shortly, I'll start doing them on TikTok as well. So if you're on TikTok, but you came over to YouTube, or you're on Facebook and you came over from Instagram or something like that, whatever the case may be, I plan to keep extending my reach. So with that, guys, I want to thank you so much for your time today. It is priceless to me, you taking the time. For those of you that are short on time, you can hit the replay on this. You can actually do the playback. You can hit the settings, hit the playback speed, and you can take it up to like 2 times. You'll still be able to understand what I'm saying. If you stay focused, you can listen to it. And instead of listening to it for 48 minutes, you can listen to it for 24 minutes, get all of this content. All right. And then when you need to go back to it, it'll be there for you. It'll always be on YouTube. Facebook, it'll only be there for about 30 days and then it goes away. So with that, guys, thank you again for your time. I greatly appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you all very soon. Until then, take care. And I look forward to celebrating you living your best life. Take care.